Hey friends, welcome. Happy Wednesday. I'm so glad you're here. If you and I have not met, my name is Emma Lou with Heartfelt Creations. Today, you and I are going to learn how to create a beautiful card that has a background basis of a 3D stamped frame. Now, I don't know if you've used 3D stamped frames before, but I find that they're a great basic background piece that sets the stage to create a beautiful, simple card. So I'm just going to show you a couple samples of what I have in front of you, and then we're going to put something together that I think you'll absolutely love. So here is a variation of what we're going to be creating today. We're going to do a little bit different color combinations and some fun things like that. But as you can see, when you stamp a beautiful floral frame on a background, it really sets the stage and anchors and positions it on your card, where all you have to do is add these beautiful cozy cottage scenes in the background, add your beautiful florals, and you're good to go. So we're going to have some fun learning about these, and the great thing is they're perfect for different size card bases. So whether you like to create with your 4¼ by 5½ inch cards, 5 by 7, 6 by 6, the versatility with these are endless. And you don't want to forget that you can also cut these apart and just use them as sections for anchors when you are making your cards. So just look at that beautiful detail in that frame. You could totally use that individually. We have a class we had taught online that showed some variations of that. So if you are an insider member, it's always great to go back and have a refresher on that. So if you're watching today, some of you already have the floral frames and you just needed a refresher to see how you can create some different a refresher. I'm like getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited. But a refresher on how to use these frames. And for some of you, this is your first time seeing them, and you don't have been on the fence, you haven't gotten them yet. So we're just going to start by creating the card base first. Then we'll show you how to make those beautiful florals. I have these petite florals that we're going to do in multicolors that I think you'll love. Let's take a look at them. They are so adorable. Like, look at these little multicolored flowers. These are adorable on pretty much paired with any florals that we have that are larger, but I love the petite aspect of them, so they really beautifully layer on these frames. So the frame we're working with today is the oval floral frame. This one comes with a floral frame stamp and then this beautiful script called "For My Friend." I love that. We're going to use that on our card today too. And we're going to get started by coloring this beautiful frame. So what I want you to do is really just stamp this in a leaf green ink, or if you love a deeper green, the emerald green is really a bright pop of green. In fact, that is a beautiful green that I really like to pull out and use during spring. Like, it is just like if you live in an area where spring makes your grass pop and become green, it reminds me of that fresh green in spring. And that is the emerald green. So if you're just joining me today, let me know if you have the floral frames, if you've created with them recently. And if not, maybe this will inspire you to pull them out and get your creativity going with it. But I did a layer of leaf green at the base, and then we're just going to go ahead and add the emerald green, like kind of in the center on the top, using these sponge daubers. Now, you can color with markers on these. However, if you want more of a quick and easy option, you can go back and you can just color with those sponge daubers, add some pops of color into that frame, and you're good to go. Now, this is totally optional if you want to add a little bit of pink for the background flowers, because we are going to cover some of those areas. It's still to be seen how all of that turns out. So I'm just going to go ahead and color all those backgrounds so that we can place our dimensional flowers wherever you're at. Now, I don't know if you saw this or not, but today we launched a savings that I am uber duper excited for you to experience. If you don't have the floral frames yet, today is a wonderful day to get it. You save 50%. So get it. That savings is available if we do run out of it before the savings end, whichever comes first. So I don't want you to miss out. Just go ahead and grab it. And remember, when you are shopping, during the month of April, we have a really, I love this, and I know you guys do too, because you take advantage of it as many times as you order. So when you do a $100 purchase, you qualify for a free die of your choice. So just remember to take advantage of that when you are placing your orders for this. So I did a partial color of the yellow, and then we're coming in That was the sunflower. I was saying yellow, but it was sunflower. And then we're coming in with vibrant fuchsia, and we're coloring parts of that flower with the vibrant fuchsia as well. So that's going to be your background color. And I do like to kind of overlap that vibrant fuchsia into the yellow, and it creates a little bit of a third color effect with a little bit of an orange undertone. So if you like to experiment with color like I do, I think you're going to be so happy when you use this. And I'm just doing soft circular motions. So if you do this and it looks too vibrant bright, that just means to use less of your muscles and go a little bit lighter, okay? So you have this beautiful frame color. Like, how long did that take you? I wasn't clocking, but maybe like 2 minutes. So say you're watching TV one evening, just stamp a bunch of these, cut them out, and have fun coloring these. And what you could do is, if you have all of these, you could stamp a bunch of these different frames so that you have different variations you can choose from, and then color them in your favorite color combinations that you know you use a lot, especially going for spring. Or, you know, you can switch it up. You could, this is something that many miss, and I don't want you to miss this. If you look at the shape of these flowers, if you go into Christmas, you can turn these into reds or your poinsettia colors. So don't miss that. You can turn these frames into Christmas frames. So log that in your bank of creativity, pull out once you're making your Christmas cards, because this is going to be super pretty and quick. All you need to do is add a Christmas scene from our papers behind it, and you're going to have a gorgeous, gorgeous Christmas card. So there's a little tip that just popped into my brain as I was looking at these again. I'm like, yes, and I don't know that I've ever shared that with you on social media. So just keep that in your minds. As you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. Say hello. Tell me what you love about what you're learning. We are going to lay this aside. And you know what? Before we switch gears, why don't we just set the stage with the flowers, make sure all our elements are done, and then we can switch to the card base. So again, these single flowers, you might be wondering where these come from. And there's, from these sets, there's a combination, like there's a combination of florals in this one and this one. So if you get all of them, you have all the florals I'm using, or you do have some florals and leaves in both of them. So you can kind of mix and match, do whatever works for you. So we're going to go ahead and get the sunflower. And we went ahead and did a vibrant fuchsia color in the stamping. Then I'm going back with a sunflower, and I am coloring about 3 petals with the sunflower. And you see how that just adds a beautiful pop of that yellow in there. And then I love how beautifully the vibrant fuchsia comes in there and just makes it pop. It is just so pretty. I wish you'd be right here with me so that you could see just how beautiful this is. Okay, so here we go, here we go. Okay, so you have that beautiful floral. You see that? I love when you hold it at different angles. Okay. Once you're done, what I want you to do, let's color a leaf. I think our leaf is feeling a little bit left out. Okay, these leaves are adorable. Like, they're a very petite. I might be wrong, but I think it's our most petite single leaf. It's one of our most petite single leaves. But it has this nice curve on the top that I really love to add a little bit of a lifelike look to it. It looks very realistic when you have it shaped. So I colored this in the green and then went back with the emerald green as well, and just put this stripe of that darker shading in the middle. See that? Okay, once you're done, all you need to do is bring out your shaping mat. These florals are super tiny. We do not have a shaping mold for these, so we are hand shaping them. So what I want to do is just share some simple tips that I love to do with these, is by putting it stamp side down on your mat. And you'll do that to both of the florals, and then you'll do a light misting of your water. I like to do light misting. Do not do a shower. If it gets too wet, just give it a little bit of time to dry. If paper is too wet, you will run into this issue of petals breaking faster. And something that I oftentimes miss telling you too is I did stamp these on our Luxe flower shaping paper. If you've been a crafter that you love the dimensional florals, but you've never used our deluxe flower shaping paper, it is the bomb. Like, if you've used it, let us know in the comments what you love about it, but like, seriously, it is just absolutely amazing. So what you saw me do is add some shaping to the back of that leaf. Then I just drew a straight line down the middle, and that gives a very realistic look, which I absolutely love. It's just stunning. Next step with the petals of the flowers, what you can do is just kind of tap, tap, tap. I find that when you tap, 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 it gives you the dimension. It gives a little bit of that distressed look on the paper. And I don't find that it takes as much muscle strength. But you can experiment and see what works best for you. And I am using a really teeny tiny tip from our flower shaping kit. I am assuming this is like a 2-3 millimeter tip. But when you're using it, a lot of people will ask me, well, what size tips are you using? That small flower, smaller tip. The smaller the petals, the smaller the tip. And as you get accustomed to flower shaping, you will pretty much innately know that, okay, like this tip's too large, because it's just like, it's kind of like trying to press your foot into your shoe that's like a size too small, right? And you'll kind of get that feeling. So if you get that feeling, you're really like, just switch. Then you're going to go back and you're going to press them down the middle. And this left hand that wants to grab this flower, just tie it behind your back if you get that feeling. I don't know if you ever have that experience, but it does happen. So lay that aside. And then you do the same thing to the next one. So press, tap, tap, tap. Do that on each side, boom, boom, and you are going to have this beautiful floral. Again, this one you can make into this beautiful spring blossom. What I love about it is so tiny that it can easily be tucked in to so many bouquets as a filler flower, or it can stand by itself, especially with these frames in the background. So just kind of keep it in mind for Christmas too, that you could use it for an itty bitty poinsettia. Or you could make it in different color combinations. Like you could do kind of like a stamp it and emboss it in gold and have it in just a really beautiful kind of background color to add on top of your poinsettias. Now, this one is going to be popped in the center. And what I'm going to show you is a tip that I love by taking my fingers and just pinching this back, rotating it like, is it a quarter turn, half turn, doing it again. And that just kind of pinches that center a little bit, and that will make that paper like in the center is really molded, so that when I go to add my stamens in the middle, you're going to easily be able to get a super dimensional flower in the middle. Let me just grab my paper piercer and we'll see the magic of this flower coming all together. So here's my paper piercing mat. I don't know if you have the deluxe flower shaping kit, but it has lots of different tips. It has 10 different nibs. It comes with the mat. It has the paper piercing mat. It has your tool with interchangeable tips. If you don't have this yet, this is a crafter essential that I reach for all the time. And I never got my paper piercing mat out of there. That's what I was looking for. So here we go. We're going to pop a hole right in the center using this handy dandy paper piercer. This paper piercer is one that has been a lifesaver for me, and this is why. With this tapered, you're going to be able to adjust the size of that hole. You can make it go up as high as you want, which makes that you can utilize it for many different floral sizes, and then you can easily have a customized hole in the middle of these flowers when you're getting ready to pull these stamens through. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bring that through. Ta-da! Okay, so I'm using from our pearl stamens. These come in packs of different colors. This is the smallest size. If you have questions about these, let us know. But all I did is I took 3 strands. These are threaded. What does that mean? That means you want to have what I call a piece that will help support in the center so you can pull it through your flower. So what I did is I just took a thin like wire, florist wire, folded it in half, and then I fold these stamens in half, and this is like creating a needle and thread effect, okay? So what I want you to do is just take that and bring that through your flower, and ta-da! You have this beautiful stamens in the center of that flower. Isn't that just gorgeous? Like, it is so, so stunning. Okay, so when you have this, this is going to be the center of your flower. I just kind of, you remember how we had done all that kind of like crinkling in the base of the flower. So you can bring that up and you can really tuck that nicely right around that flower. And then all you have to do is bring up your second layer and you have a beautiful flower in no time. Like this is one I love to create and just have like a lot of them just ready for me to go, like ready, waiting for me, right? Like these flowers here, we had done these before. So those were just sitting there waiting on me to go. And I was like, when I saw them, I was like, I have to show you how to create these because these are such little beauties that can so easily be overlooked. So we're just going to go ahead and bring that in. Okay, there we go. Ta-da. And then you can go ahead with your scissors and just trim off the excess piece that came through. And then you're ready to start adding these to your card base. So yes, I do have a card that is very similar to what I'm creating today, but I really just wanted to just see where our creativity takes and just do a variation of this. So if you are ready for a creative adventure and see what we end up with, stay tuned. So with this one, I'll show you the papers at the end, but the paper is loaded with beautiful color tones along with these cozy cottage scenes. I mean, like you want to live here, right? Just add a little bit of glitter, it just sparkles and shines, and it's just really beautiful. So I took more of a plain piece from the paper, cut a circle out of the center, and then I chose a scene that I wanted to have in the middle. If you wanted to make it into a shaker card, you could totally do that by adding a clear cardstock behind it and creating it into kind of like that window scene if you are wanting to be a little bit more adventurous. So this is a little bit more of a, basic intermediate version. So you can take it up a notch, add your shaker element to it, and just have some fun with that as well. So if you're watching and you have the floral frames, let me know. If you are watching, you don't have it yet, or there's pieces that you are missing. We just launched a savings where you save 50% on the floral frames, so make sure you don't miss out on that. We'll add the links below. And so this is the time to snatch those up. Okay, so here you go. You've got your beautiful circle. And then this is an oval, so you'd think, oh gosh, I have to put an oval behind it. But what I do is I take a die and I lay it behind this frame, and I'm like, you know what, I want to have this one behind it. So then all you have to do is just layer that on top. Now you have two choices. You can just glue this right on top of that paper, or you could add some 3D foam dots in the back of these florals. So really you get to choose how you want to add that. I'm just going to add some hot glue around the edges, and the hot glue is a little bit dimensional, so we'll get a little bit of dimension with that, but then I'm just going to leave it so that it bonds very quickly. And I'm going to have my big cluster of flowers down on this side, and we'll have the small one on top. And that's the beauty of this too, is you get to choose how you want to do that. Next step is going to be adding our sentiment. This sentiment is so petite and beautiful. It has such intricacy. I took 3 pieces of cardstock, die cut them out with the For My Friend, and glued them together, so that gives it a nice thickness, kind of like a chipboard piece. So we're just going to go ahead and glue the stamped version on top. So what I want you to do is just go ahead and ta-da! Pop these on, and then we will also add that glue to the back. Now if you don't know who you're giving this to or what sentiment you want on top, you could totally wait until later to add that, but I like to add this to my card base so I know to avoid that space when I'm adding my flowers. So our next step is just to have fun with those flowers. So there's 2 different ways you can lay out your flowers. You can just cluster them together, see how you want to have them laid out. Snap a picture, take it off, and do it exactly how you had laid it out. Or if you are more confident with placement of flowers, you can go ahead and just start gluing them right away. So I'm going to just go ahead and start gluing right away. What built my confidence in knowing where to place flowers is typically I start out with where my focal point is going to be. And I start out with my largest flower that I'm going to be using first. Now we might use multiple sizes of this, but it gives me a starting point. And then I'm like, you know what? I want to add the next size down right tucked in to this flower. So we're just going to go ahead and pull this one in. and you have that anchored. And I'm like, we might need to add some more flowers. We might add some leaves there, but I'm going to go back and we're going to work in this section a little bit. So we're going to bring in another large flower down here. I say large, but this isn't a super large flower. And I'm going to offset that a little bit from that detail in the background. So you can see that flower in the background, so that allows you a little bit of, you know, seeing that frame, which I really love how that kind of bounces back off of each other. So you could put this next flower on top of the flower in the background, which shows you placement, which is beautiful. Or you can be adventurous and tuck it to the side and again, you know, utilize that background space for creativity as well. And then we'll go back up here and we will, let's see, we'll cluster 2 or 3 up here. We'll see where we end up. Because when I'm adding flowers, I do like to have an odd amount for placement. And you'll kind of discover that you naturally do that. It's really about design flow, kind of how your eye flows across the card, which I don't like to spend a lot of time to, because a lot of people get hung up on like, what's the right way to do it? And actually, I really don't ask that question. I am more asked like, what looks good to me? Because at the end of the day, crafting is about having fun, and there's no right or wrong way, right? It's like you are the artist of your card. So I did dip into this top of this flower a little bit, but then I'm going off the side and I'm clustering these 3 together. They're friends. They're going to be tucked together up here. And that color with the yellow in there just fits so beautifully. Then you'll go back and you'll pop in your leaves. So that ends up being a pretty quick and easy process. So hopefully this really inspires you to create you know, these beautiful clusters that are simple, yet your friends and family think it took a long time. Oftentimes with these, I like to pair 2 together. One I like to tuck in a little bit further, so it's kind of a double leaf formation. And then there will be some areas where I just do 1 leaf, depending on, you know, what's going on behind it. So like right here, I'll just tuck that leaf in there because of everything that's going on behind it as well. So just have fun with it. You'll kind of learn what you love, what you don't love, and it's just such a fun process when you're creating these. It's like when you're done, you're like, look at what I made. So with these are the easy steps to creating a card. But if you're like me, oftentimes, oops, I just added the glue to the front. We need to use some glue in the back. You know, it can be easy to be like looking at a blank piece of cardstock and think, oh my gosh, like, well, what do I start on the base to get started? And that's where I find that the frames make it super simple. It gives you the anchor, and then you can, you know, finish adding those leaves like you love, which is just such a great way to get you started. Having that foundational base piece there, and then you can kind of go from there and just have fun with it. So hopefully this really jump-started your projects. I have some samples in front of you that I've just been dying to share with you. They're so pretty. Let me tuck in this last leaf. I used up all my leaves. You can never have too many leaves. There we go. Like, how pretty is that? You've got your sentiment. All you need to do then is just add your glitter, have some fun with it. So let me know in the comments what you loved, which part's been your favorite, what techniques you learned. I can't wait to have you share right with us here on social media, what you create based on what you learned today. Before you go, I'll show you some samples that really have so many variations of what you can do. Before I do that, we'll just go over what I used real quickly. This was the oval floral frame with the beautiful For My Friends sentiment, and then I mixed that die up along with the coordinating die. Just a reminder, when you type in this name of this die on our website, it'll bring up an image of what you bought, and then there's going to be videos and inspiration on what you can create with yours. So that's a great resource for you when you're at home working with these. And then this is the frame that has a couple of those flowers in it, and then the curvy floral frame has some more of those flowers as well. So you get to choose how you want to mix and match and use those. Before I show you the other cards I have in front of you, because I know you're just waiting to see those, let's take a look at the Floral Frames paper collection. This paper collection is just filled with beautiful color combinations of those pops of aqua, beautiful blues, summer greens, spring greens, and then you have those cozy cottage scenes just scattered throughout. You have card front panels. I highly recommend stocking up on this paper pad while there's a savings on it. So just remember, any of the items in the Floral Frames collection, you'll save 50% on, so that's a great one to stock up on. And when you are placing an order, if your order is over $100, you'll qualify for a free die of your choice as well. So here's one where you have that clear opening I was talking about, and then this scene was just in the back on the inside of the card, which is beautiful. Here is a very similar concept and idea with that, except there's no opening in the card, so you can really mix and match. I love the simplistic beauty of this one too. You've got this beautiful saying in the center, you've got this frame, then some of those flowers around the edges. Here you've got your beautiful 5.5 by 4.25 card with that scene on in the inside. Ah, love that. And here, this one didn't take any coloring on the frame. Some of these frames, if you just stamp them with a colored ink, you can just pop your flowers on, you're good to go. You can add a shaker element in the center of the card, add your sentiment in the inside, you're good to go. Isn't that so cool? Like, so pretty. Here's another one. Like, if you like the cards that are an easel, look at how pretty that is. And that is just snipping off a border of the frame and you have an easel card. Super beautiful. The frame, we just stamped in the color, added the paper in the background, added our florals, you're good to go. So lots of versatility just in this one set. Like, it's so fun. So if you don't have this yet, I can't wait for you to experience the joy of creating with this. And if you've had it in your craft room and it's been stashed away in a corner, I can't wait for you to pull that back out, have a lot of fun creating with it using the inspiration that we shared with you today. And again, if you don't have it yet, this is a great time. You'll save 50% on the Floral Frames stamps, dies, and the paper, so you can mix and match. You can stock up on that paper, whatever you need to do based on what you have in your craft room. So happy shopping, happy creating. We'll see you next time. Bye.